Chapter 4. Discovering the depths. The sky was a dull grey, heavy clouds promising rain as Jenna and Paisley ventured outside for the first time since the storm. Jenna thought some fresh air might do Paisley good, and, despite the risks of being seen, Paisley reluctantly agreed. She still felt unsteady on her legs, every step a conscious effort. But Jenna's steady presence beside her gave her courage. Jenna lived in a quieter part of the city, far from the bustling downtown. The streets were lined with old trees, their branches forming a canopy overhead. The air smelled of damp earth and faint gasoline fumes. An odd mix Paisley couldn't decide if she liked. "Careful," Jenna said, her hand hovering near Paisley's elbow as they navigated the cracked sidewalk. "The pavement's uneven here." Paisley nodded, her focus on placing one foot in front of the other. She stumbled once, her arms flailing for balance, but Jenna caught her before she could fall. "Thanks," Paisley murmured, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. "No problem," Jenna said, smiling warmly. "You're doing great. Walking's harder than people give it credit for." As they continued, Paisley's eyes darted around, drinking in her surroundings. A dog barked from a yard they passed, causing her to jump. A group of kids zoomed by on bicycles, their laughter echoing down the street. Everything was so alive, so loud. The ocean had its own kind of noise. Waves crashing, fish darting, the distant songs of whales. But this was different. "Does it always feel like this?" Paisley asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Like what?" Jenna asked, glancing at her. "So much." Jenna chuckled. "Yeah, it's a lot, but you get used to it." Paisley wasn't so sure. A walk by the water. They ended up at a small park near the edge of the city, where a shallow creek cut through a grove of trees. The water sparkled under the muted light, and Paisley felt an ache in her chest as she stared at it. She wanted to touch it, to let the cool liquid run over her fingers, but she knew what would happen if she did. The transformation was always just beneath the surface, waiting for the faintest connection to water to pull her back. "You okay?" Jenna asked, noticing the way Paisley had frozen. "I don't know if I'll ever be okay," Paisley admitted. Her voice was steady, but her words carried the weight of her fear and longing. "I miss it, the ocean. But I can't go back. Not like this." Jenna crouched down beside her. "You don't have to go back right now. Let's figure out what's next. One step at a time." Paisley looked at her, searching for some kind of reassurance. Jenna's calm, steady gaze reminded her of the way the sea felt during sunrise. Warm, comforting, and hopeful. "I want to try something," Paisley said suddenly. She didn't wait for Jenna's response before kneeling at the edge of the creek. Jenna stiffened. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" "I need to know," Paisley said, her voice resolute. She reached out, her fingers trembling as they grazed the surface of the water. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a faint shimmer spread across her hand, and the delicate scales appeared once more. Paisley's breath hitched, and she pulled back, the transformation vanishing as quickly as it had come. Jenna let out a slow breath. "Okay, that was something. I don't think it's going away," Paisley said, her shoulders sagging. "This part of me, it's who I am. I can't hide it forever." "You don't have to," Jenna said gently. "We'll figure out a way for you to live with it, but maybe not right here in the open." "Yeah?" Paisley nodded, her cheeks flushing, learning the human way back. At the penthouse, Jenna decided it was time to teach Paisley some basics of living as a human. They started with the small things: how to brush her hair, how to hold a spoon without spilling food everywhere, and how to button a shirt. Paisley struggled with all of it. Her fingers felt clumsy, her body foreign. The ocean had given her grace and strength, but here, on land, she was like a newborn foal, unsure of her every move. "Don't worry," Jenna said, her tone lighthearted. "You'll get the hang of it." "Why? Is everything so complicated?" Paisley grumbled as she fumbled with the buttons on her borrowed shirt. Jenna laughed. "Humans like to overcomplicate things. You'll see." Despite her frustration, Paisley couldn't help but smile at Jenna's easy humor. She had never known someone like her. Someone so patient, so willing to help without expecting anything in return, revealing secrets. Later that evening, as they sat on the couch, Jenna brought up the question that had been nagging at her all day. "So, what happens if someone else finds out about you? About what you can do?" Paisley stiffened. "No one can know. Humans. They don't understand. They'll treat me like a thing, not a person." Jenna's jaw tightened. "I won't let that happen." "You have my word." Paisley looked at her, her heart aching with gratitude and fear. "Thank you, but I don't know if your word is enough." Jenna placed a hand on Paisley's shoulder, her grip firm. "It's enough for now, and we'll figure out the rest together." Paisley didn't respond, but for the first time in days, she felt a flicker of hope.